Cork is a little bit south, but we're going even more south now. Let's go to Australia, to Perth. Let me introduce you to Dr. Elinda Lee, who's a researcher and a research fellow. And you did research on how we can introduce arrangements to make flexible work more autism friendly. So yes, we're very curious to hear about that. The stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Elinda Lee, as you have seen my name on the board. So today, very happy to be here to talk about a research that we did during the COVID time. So the title is Employing the Job Demands Resources Model to Support Autistic Employees in Flexible Working Arrangements. And this is our team, and with all their contributions, we managed to publish this article in Autism in Adulthood early this year. Okay. So we know that more and more people have the opportunity to work from home in flexible working arrangements. So here we use the term flexible working arrangements that refers to the flexibility on both where and when to complete work. Okay. So we know that more people have the opportunities to work from home because of the advancement in digital technologies, and also like a couple of years ago because of the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in the city where I live, that is Perth, Western Australia, and during that time we have very strict rules. We have multiple lockdowns that everyone had to work from home for, I think it's like more than a year. Okay, and also there is a growing momentum of neurodiversity initiatives where there is a recognition of the need to include more autistic individuals in employment. However, as we know that autistic individuals continue to experience many barriers in workplace because of the difference in communications and interactions, and also in the way that they process sensory information. So, if we understand the barriers and facilitators in flexible working arrangements, this will help their inclusion at work. However, the problems are strategies for supporting autistic employees working flexibly are not well understood. And also there is limited research on how flexible working arrangements can support the employment of more autistic individuals, and also on the impact of the flexible arrangements for autistic employees and the needs of this group of people in these arrangements. So we applied the job demands and resources model, in short we call this JDR, to develop a resource that can help support this group of people working flexibly. So the aim of our research is to know how to support autistic employees working flexibly, and then to identify the key factors associated with flexible working arrangements for autistic employees based on the JDR theory or model by examining the benefits of flexible working arrangements for autistic individuals, the barriers, and also the facilitators for them. So maybe some of you have heard of JDR model before, maybe some of you have not. So just let me briefly explain what JDR model is. So it basically distinguishes between job demands and job resources to help understand how employees' performance and their well-being at the workplace. So if you can see that these two tables, like job demands is basically more towards the health impairment pathway because of its tax on energy resources and can contribute to exhaustions or reducing their mental health at work. So this also includes personal demands like distraction from family members, where while job resources, you can see that is a more motivational pathway that can foster engagement and performance, such as flexible work, work hours. And this also includes personal resources, such as conducive workplace at home. So if you see this diagram, it will help you to understand better. So in short, resources is something that positively related to the engagements and performance, while demands are negatively related to the engagement of performance. So if an employee has more resources, have the resources to manage the demands, that means that their performance and well-being will increase. Okay, the methods. We use the qualitative descriptive design, and we interview our participants. They are autistic employees and line managers in Australia, and we conducted these interviews or data collection from October 21 to July 2022. And we use a snowball sampling to reach our potential participants nationwide. And then also, we also distribute our flyers to our industry partners, advertise on social media, and also websites. And when it comes to data analysis, we use thematic analysis, and then we identify the key factors important to flexible working arrangements deductively based on the JDR model. So for the participants, in total, we have 14 autistic employees. We have 10 females and 4 males, and their mean age was 37.5 years old. 12 of them disclosed their diagnosis to their line managers, whereas only 2 disclosed to their co-workers. 50% had flexible working arrangements due to COVID, and the other 50% is just because of personal reasons unrelated to the pandemic. They are from various industries. We have mining, finance, and also like not-for-profit organizations and government departments. And they have various roles as well. They are IT specialists, software developer, and including legal policy officers as well. Whereas for the line managers or supervisors, we have 4 of them. They are all females. They were all in their 40s and 50s, and also from various industries such as finance, mining, and not-for-profit organization. So the results. So we managed to identify 8 benefits for autistic employees in flexible working arrangements. If you can see on the screen, the first one is reducing sensory overload. So they don't have to direct their attentions or their energy towards blocking out stimuli. So more energy can be concentrated on work tasks. The second one is autonomy over communication and socialization. So they have more control over the amount of communications they have with their co-workers. Reducing interaction and anxiety, okay, is also one of them. And reducing burnout, so they don't have to mask their differences, okay, and this leads to, which can lead to exhaustion and burnout. Now, better work-life balance, so they can start and end their work hour early, so enable them to spending more time with their families and do other activities. Availability of flex time, so they can adjust their work hours and based on their needs. And improving productivity, more energy can be directed towards their work because so that they can manage their times and work more effectively. And lastly is removing work commutes, like the time saved in commuting could be used for work. So these are some of the quotes for the benefits. I'll just skip them. If you want to take a picture, you can. And for the barriers for autistic employees, the first one is, we identified 8 of them as well. The first one is being hyper-focused. As we know that autistic people can focus intensely on tasks for a long period of time, which can negatively impact their well-being. The second one is engaging in technology-mediated communication. So as we know that some of them are participants share with us that they feel discomfort, like not very comfortable to turn on their webcam and things like that. And also they have challenges also in understanding body language and also the emojis used by their co-workers. And lack of understanding of individual support needs. Sometimes the management or the line managers, they do not understand why these people need certain adjustment. Making transitions, because they're working from home, so there's no need for them to commute. Some of them find that it's kind of like hinder their ability to segregate work and also home. Social isolations, they're losing connections with their coworkers. Inadequate management style, because they're working from home, some managers try to, they micromanage their staff, so they felt being micromanaged. Distractions from families, members, and household chores could be one of the barriers. And lastly, the IT support and technology. So difficulty in accessing the systems at home or because of some network connections issues. So these are some of the quotes from the barriers. Okay, so I'm going to skip that too. Okay, when it comes to supports or the facilitators for flexible working arrangements, we managed to categorize them into 3 levels. So the first one is organization levels, and then we have team levels, and lastly we have the individual levels. So for the organization level, the support that they can have, which will help them in this kind of arrangements, is autism awareness educations. So there will be like proper knowledge being given to the staff, and from a reliable source, and instead of just Googling around. Flexible working guidelines or handbook. So if you have something, they know that's what are the supports that could be requested, they would be helpful for them, instead of just asking around, which can cause anxiety. Individual needs documentation is something that they're saying that if the HR or the managers can document what their needs, so for future use, instead of in case that they have to move departments, other line managers it can be helpful for them for all the adjustment that they need. So ergonomic support, so make sure that the setup at home adhere to the ergonomic standards. Technological support, of course, they need to have the devices that they need to ensure that the work can be properly conducted. And flexi remote work days is something that they said that it should be flexible. There should be some flexibility in terms of the numbers of remote work days based on the nature of the work. So when it comes to team level, so we have role clarity, right? Clear understanding of the job description, work expectations that establish collaboratively between them and their line managers. Goal clarity, establishing and tracking goals. They should be aligned, align the work with their teams, and also obtain regular feedback. Trust from line managers and supervisors. There should be mutual trust, and of course that they are not going to abuse the flexible work system. Supervisor support is about interpersonal, that understanding their needs and difficulties, and also offer practical support like offering accommodations and adjustment. Peer support is from the co-workers. They're willing to adapt to the needs and the difficulties of their co-workers. So at individual levels, of course, for themselves, they have to do some adjustment, like self-organizations that have rules for themselves, time management, work routine, and also there are bigger rules with their employers as well, such as meeting deadlines. And also another important aspect is a conducive work environment, having a designated and appropriately furnished workplace, so avoid the distractions from family members. So these are the important part that we come up with, like we identified the key factors based on the results that we have, based on the narratives. So, thank you. Yeah, and then we group them based on the JDR category. So if you can see that, for example, I just use one of them. So if you can see the teams of supervisor support, like establishing rules and expectations agreed by both, we can group them under work resources, in terms of rules and expectations that falls under the umbrella of job resources. So we do the same for the personal resources as well, that we group based on the results that we have. And this is the demands that we have under job demands, personal demands, and external demands. So we do the same from the teams and from narratives, from what they share with us, we group them under different categories of demands based on the JDR model. Okay, implications and conclusions. So we hope that the framework that we have identified can serve as a guideline for employers to implement necessary adjustment, provide support tailored to the needs of autistic employees. Of course, autistic employees, they themselves have to make certain adjustments at personal level to work effectively and also to have the, the greatest benefits of under these work arrangements. So by understanding the specific demands and resources, hopefully there will be a more inclusive and supportive and work environment can be created. And also this may help empower more autistic employees to disclose their conditions if they know that the support is there. And yes, with these key factors that we identify, so this could help, to understand the best practices for for autistic employees in flexible working arrangement settings. Thank you very much. These are the references and this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. And sorry, this is not a nice job, interrupting people while in the middle and in the flow of explaining things. Thank you very much for presenting a research study that leads to a lot of really practical advices for the workflow.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Okay, we have time for one short question. There's a gentleman over there.
Thank you very much. That was a great talk. I work with organizations on how to be more inclusive for autistic employees, so I'm very keen to understand in your research, did you get a ranking of what the autistic employees thought were the most beneficial resources? Did they give you, this is the most beneficial and rank it all the way down, or was it just...
No ranking. It's just based on the transcript, based on the interviews, based on the narratives, we come up with the themes, and then based on the themes, we frame it against the framework. So there is no ranking at the moment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee, for a nice presentation. Interesting question, by the way, priorities.